Sit. Look at me. No, you look at me. Where were you? Where did you go? You know you're not supposed to go outside and run on the street. Look at me. You know you're not supposed to run outside. Noche. Look at me. Noche. Don't go outside. Please, stay inside the house. Okay? And that way you stay safe. I know you want to go outside and play with your friends. I know you want to go have a nice bowl of water over at Elsa's Colmado. I know you're missing those days, but you're on lockdown. Look at me. What did I say? No, what did I say? I know you don't like the word. Sit. Look at me. What did I say? You have to stay in lockdown. And that's that. You got it? Now look at all this in your hair. What are we going to do with all of this? Huh? All these little burrs you got from outside. Look at all these in her hair. Oh, we're going to have a shower, and you're going to have to learn, like everybody else here in the Dominican Republic, that you're not allowed to go outside. I know you haven't had a walk in 7 days. I know. But it's not Mommy. I love you. I love you. And I'm sorry you can't go for a walk right now. I know you like that word walk. Your ears perk up. But no, not right now, sweetheart. Right now, your form of enjoyment is right out here. So, come on. Let's go. You're coming out with Mommy. This is our form of enjoyment now, and also for you guys who watch my videos. You guys know it's some stories from the terrace. Look at her, burrs all over her. My gosh, isn't that something? She wanted a little walk. I can't blame her. You know what happened? She took off out of the house. There goes Alberto, my buddy. She took off out of the house. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go running after her. Like, I'm not going to go running in the streets like a crazy gringa and be like, no, Jay. She knows where she lives, and she knows she's not supposed to take off. But I also understood that, you know, like I should have locked the front door. I should have left the gate on. But the woman who left this morning, she left that gate right there wide open. There's a gate that slides across and locks in the front right there, and she parks her car here. She doesn't live here, but she parks her car here, and she just left the gate wide open. But she's used to it because people come and go through here all day. But right now, excuse me, in the times of what's going on, I think we should keep things locked up and be mindful of it. Just to be mindful and respectful. And look at her all upset and depressed. And I'm clearing my throat a lot because I was calling for her. I actually walked up on the roof. That's what I did do. I went up on the roof and I was calling out to her, no, Jay. And my neighbors across the way, they know. Excuse me, they're like, Gringa is like, excuse me, guys. They're like, Gringa is over there calling Noche. And I know they saw Noche in the streets. And they're probably over there laughing at me, thinking, you're not going to go out today. Not today. So of all days for her to take off. Updates. Guys, I have to tell you, please, at this point, you know, people are in the streets with masks, almost everyone. And I'm more surprised now when I don't see someone with a mask. Like when I see someone without a mask, that's when I'm really surprised. When lockdown first happened, I was surprised to see people with one on. I was like, wow, okay, this is great. Okay, well, only the sick people really need them. But then I realized that some of the sick aren't even going to put them on. So I think it comes to a point where yeah, it's a good idea for us all to wear them. And that's that. And all of us to stay in the house. So right now, the Dominican Republic is getting very, very serious. I saw a video of a police officer had to shoot at some people because people were throwing bottles at him to get out of their barrio. And they were throwing bottles at him because he was telling them to disperse. They were in gatherings, like groups and gatherings and stuff, and they were all by a colmado drinking and everything. And so now you cannot do that. You cannot go to a colmado. You cannot say, oh, you're going to order food and you're waiting for your food and having a drink in the meantime. You can't do that. Now colmados are not permitted to sell alcohol. It's only for consumption in your home. They can sell alcohol for consumption in your home. So I'm pretty sure that your colmado could deliver you alcohol, or you can pick it up, but you just can't drink with it. You just can't drink it at a colmado. And of course you don't want to drink it on the streets because you're just making a fast walk across from the colmado to back to your house. So that's that. Stay in the house, just like Noche wants to get outside and go play. Yes. Oh yeah, that's what happened. So I'm cleaning the house and everything and making my breakfast and all that stuff, and thinking about the day's events that I'm going to be doing online, and also my writing. And of course, Miss Thing, she must have seen that the gate downstairs opened, and she knew that I had just finished cleaning the stairs, where I lock my front door all the time with a lock. Even though, like, during the day, normally when that gate downstairs is open, my front door is locked anyway. But today, because I just assumed that front gate was going to be locked, and I was doing my cleaning, and I just finished cleaning the stairs, and then I went and did a few other things, she took off. And usually she wouldn't take off like that. She's a really good girl, but she hasn't been walked for 7 days. So she must think like I have lost it, or have become all of a sudden real super duper universal selfish. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's just like, look, no people in the street to watch. So she is smart. So she has to know that, okay, there is something different going on, not only in the house, not only in our apartment, but also in the streets. It's not as active. So she's a smart dog. I'm pretty sure she has that figured out too. But when she ran up the street, I was like, I'm not going to get her, like I said. So I waited for her to come back. So I went outside, and I just happened to do another sweep on the stairs because I can't sweep them enough. It's like fall here, if you will. The leaves are falling a lot. I sweep out here every morning as well, and mop. And actually, let me see if there's any leaves on the ground outside, just to see. I'm curious. Yep, already. Look. So trees dropping leaves. I'm really interested to see when the flowers start blooming, because there's an orange flower down there and there's a yellow one up here. So when summertime comes, I'm pretty sure this tree is going to look a heck of a lot different. Maybe not a heck of a lot, but perhaps a wee bit. And so, yeah, guys, that's what's going on here. You got to stay in the house unless you're like working in a grocery store, or you're a delivery person, or anything like that, or a gas station, a bank. I think the woman that leaves here every morning works in a bank. And yeah, so, I think just overall, it is very interesting to, let me see. Yeah, and she just had something around her mouth as well. Orange handkerchief. So guys, they're all coming back from colmados. So yeah, guys, I think overall, staying in the house is very difficult for some of the Dominicans, which is probably frightening for them, because a lot of them actually have to leave their house every day to get food and to get supplies. And here's a woman with her mouth covered as well. and to get supplies and stuff of that nature. Hola. So, I think it's a little frightening, really, for a lot of families here. Because if they can't, I saw one boy get arrested on the news in Santo Domingo, and the mother said to the police, well, bring the food in the house and no one will go out in the street. And I was like, oh, and even the police officer was just like, lo siento mucho. Like, I'm very, very sorry. There was nothing he could do. Like, he was just like, I'm sorry. Like, well, like, everyone has to stay in. So, there's a gringo. All masked up. Good for him. So let's count the people on the street walking by who are masked and who versus not masked. Starting with the next slew of people that come by. Okay, there might only be about 5 before my battery starts to run out. But in the meantime, I'll just give you guys an update on some of you guys contacting me from around the world. A lot of people from New York. You guys are telling me that the streets are completely different. So there's 2 people, no mask. 3, no mask. 5, altogether, no mask. 6, 7, no masks. No coughing. Most of them are young, really young. And you can tell they're on their way somewhere to work or something. A lot of people don't have masks or gloves here. I'd like to say thank you to the woman in the grocery store yesterday. I'm sorry I don't have your name, but you have dreads and excuse me, you're a sister from the States, I think. And you gave me a pair of black gloves. Like, I was like, oh, look at you. You had on a mask. That's another person, no mask. So once we get to 10, we're going to stop the count, because obviously it will be 1 out of every 20 that have a mask or something. Anyway, thank you so much for the gloves in the store, in the grocery store yesterday. You were awesome. She said, hi, Cerise, came up to me, and I was like, hi. And she had a mask over her face, and then she said that her daughter, the mask looked awesome. So, no mask, but he has a helmet. And the mask looked awesome. I was like, oh my gosh, you look like, I love your mask. It seemed like a new fashion statement, right? It was like kind of strange, but when I like something, I voice my thoughts about it. And I'm like, I love your mask. It looks really nice. And she's like, oh yeah, it's the new. I'm just gonna paraphrase. She's like, oh, it's the new model in the 895 from America, kind of thing. And it looked good. It had like a little cap kind of thing in the front of it. Looked like a ventilator. I don't know. It was all pure white. It was kind of cool. It was actually really nice. And I was like, cool. And she's like, yeah, my daughter encouraged me to like make sure I have these. And I was like, oh my gosh. And she had the black gloves on. I'm like, and look at your gloves. You're all souped up. And she's like, I have an extra pair of gloves if you would like, And I was like, please, thank you. And so she gave me some gloves, and now I have those. And I'm going to keep them like a commodity. I have them right here on my mask. Yesterday I didn't wear my mask, but I do have masks. I have 2 of them right here. I initially had 5, but I gave them all away. I gave 3 of them away to people who I thought might need them. But here's my black gloves. I have all my safety stuff right there, right down from my helmet, so I won't forget it as I'm going out the house. And there's a woman that just walked by, no mask. You see, they're not sick. Like I'm saying, like, there's no reported cases here in this town or in Sosua. So, I mean, there's another person, no mask. See, when you look for the masks, they're not there. Just like when you want to make a baby laugh on camera, they start to cry. So, yeah. Thank you to that lady. I have my gloves, and I'm happy. I did a lot of shopping yesterday. Got a lot of fruits and vegetables. I'm not really keen on that so much. The government did put out a text message today to all of us saying that they have done the numbers and there will be enough food for everybody in the Dominican Republic. So here's the girl dog. She's coming in to check out Noche. Look at that girl dog. So that girl dog is the one that chased Noche back in the house, to finish that story. As I was cleaning the leaves, that girl dog right there, she chased Noche back up the stairs. But the funny thing, not the funny thing, but the interesting thing is, and that's her boyfriend right there, and Noche likes her boyfriend, the gold guy, him. Now, funny enough, before I got Noche, he's only a few months older than Noche, maybe about 2 months. Before I got Noche, he has a mask on, see, because he's an older man. So before I got Noche, that dog, I saw him in, like, over by Elsa's restaurant, and he was just a little puppy, and a little boy came in with him, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want this dog. Whose little boy is this? And I didn't really know Las Cheramicos at the time. This was over a year ago, and then before I even moved here, and then Elsa said, oh, it's the little boy that lives next door. Now, come to see, like, it's my landlord's cousin, actually, and the whole family over there is my landlord's cousins, all of my landlord's cousins in his grandmother's house and everything. But in any case, I'm digressing. So I love the dog so much, and okay, that guy has a mask, the other guy doesn't, and no masks. And so, some of you are going to get annoyed by this video. I'm so sorry. I'm all over the place. But I did say we're going to count. And look, 2 masks. 2 for 2. Now I'm going to stop counting because you guys got a good idea of a mask. Let me just go on with my story. So I really liked the dog. And I was like, I want this dog. And I thought I could just buy the dog off the kid, right? Because I was like, this kid would probably want a couple of some cash in the pocket. Maybe the family would too. Maybe, the dog's not going to be all that important to them. Well, what happened was Elsa went over and asked the people. She said, do you guys want to sell your dog? They said, no, it's our puppy. What do you mean sell our dog? There's the police. Police have masks on. So they're like, no, that's our puppy. We don't want to sell our puppy. So I was like, oh. So I knew he was going to be a big, handsome fella. So I gave the little boy a bag of chips. And he threw that puppy down, and I picked the puppy up and got to play with it for a minute. But that was it. And I saw the puppy grow. And then when I got Noche now, Noche loves him. Noche is in love with him, and that's who she runs out into the streets to see. However, he has a girlfriend, and she's an older chick, and you saw her just now, that other dog. She's an older woman, and she chases Noche. Even when Noche's walking with me over to Elsa's, she'll chase Noche. And she only done it one time really badly, and that was recently, actually, since lockdown. And it seems like the dogs are coming out in the street more to be the rulers of the roost. So, and the dog didn't even care that I was with Noche. The dog was like, I don't care if you are with your mama or not, you stay away from my man. And Noche was like, oh my gosh, and she keeps going out in those streets for those young men. Well, he's older than her by a couple of months, but she likes him. So here we are, guys. North coast of the Dominican Republic, in a town, or let's start from the province, in a province called Puerto, Plata, in a city called Sosua, in a town called Las Cheramicos. Yes, I love it here. So we're on lockdown. I think we may go a little over 25 days because of all the people in the streets refusing to go in at night. And, the cases are spreading very rapidly. And there will be a lot of people. There was a viewer, thank you very much for your comment. It was awesome. You said that there's a lot of people here who live together. And there's a lot of people, families who live together, and you are right. And even if they didn't live together before this whole lockdown, they will definitely live together now due to having to pool their resources. So I think it is an important point to say that yes, one person, generally, if you're pooling your resources together in Canada or whatever, one person would usually be the person to go out all the time. There's the girl dog again, the brownish colored one. Oh, look, she's loyal to her man. She took off from that boy. I know Jay's like, oh, there's a new man in the calle. Oh, and he's peeing there. He marked his territory. Oh, look at Noche. Noche did the head spin. She's watching him. He's still down there. Oh, now he's gone. So even though the people are gone, she can watch her people still. And people watch her doggies. So yeah, people are moving in with each other now to pool their resources, and they need, like in Canada, one person would go out all the time. I would assume you would have one person go out all the time to do the shopping because, that person, they would, well, actually, no. If you got one person doing it all the time, they're more like the mule. I think it would be better to take turns, but oh, this guy's all gloved up and masked up. So I don't know what families would do. I would think in my household I would go out and do the grocery shopping all the time, just because. But then I would think to myself, my son wouldn't want me to. My son would say, no, Mom, let me go today. Or especially if my daughter was staying with me, because she didn't live with me before I moved here. It was just my son and I. But if my daughter came to move in, like, who's to say is the one to go out, right? Put a mask on, wash your hands, go out, everything's going to be fine. Those two are both masked up. One was holding her hand over her mouth and the guy had a mask on. But who's to say? Just keep clean. The rules are right there. That's all. I'm not panicking. I am keeping it real for a lot of you out there, because I've been watching both videos. I've been watching the ones that are talking about, oh, this is all just a hoax, and then I've been watching other ones where they're talking about the real effects of this on people, and people who have healed from it, and they're talking about it and what it was like to be, what they went through and how it felt. And my gosh, I just, like, we do know there's a flu, so just protect yourself. Don't go crazy, but just keep clean. Keep clean. As soon as you get in, like, whoever goes out to the store, use hand sanitizer, use alcohol swabs, like, and then also when you get to the door, have hand sanitizer right there as soon as you enter your door. She has a scarf on. Have hand sanitizer as soon as you get into your door, and then make sure you also scrub, shower when you get in, drink some water, don't touch your face, don't touch your nose. I heard that's how it gets into the body, through your nose, your eyes, your ears, and your mouth. So, any part, that guy has a mask, the guy sells the juice. And any part that's open and can get mucusy, so be very, very careful. So guys, I'm gonna let this fly. I have 2 videos that I'm gonna do later on today. One is going to be about a story that was sent to me, because a lot of you guys now that are going through lockdown are sending me stories, and just telling me your stories, because some of you don't know that I do have a little blog, storytimeagain.blogspot.com, where I used to write stories that people would send to me about revenge and just like some horrible, horrible things that people were doing to people, and they would want to get it off their chest, and so they would send it to me as a way of releasing, kind of thing. And they would ask me to publish on my Facebook and also on my vlog. they would ask me to publish their story, and I did. I thought the stories were interesting. It was a way for them to admit what they did to another human being, like what it says in the Bible. Admit your wrongs, and so it was able for them to also end up forgiving themselves in the long run. And so now I have people who know about that sending me stories. I do change their names and sometimes the places that they are located in. But I received a story the other day about a woman who is living here and in the Dominican Republic, not necessarily Sosua, and she met an American man who is a Sankey Panky, and he also lives here. So, not just Dominican men can be Sankey Panky, and this man is not a blend of Sankey Panky straight guy. He is Sankey Panky straight out the gate. So I'm looking forward to sharing that story with you guys later on today as well. And I'm looking forward to you guys sending me your stories so I can talk about them and we can all do story time while we're in quarantine. Alrighty guys, I love you so much.